welcome back to my channel. So today I've got a video all about failure and rejection, and this video is actually suggested by my subscriber. In case you're watching, hi. So I basically thought this video would be very good, especially because I definitely know how it feels to get rejected from medical school, as I have applied for medicine twice before getting accepted. So definitely I know how it feels to get rejected, and I feel like this video will be very useful for people who are trying and it might not be going your way right now. This video hopefully will keep you more motivated and hopefully encourage you to keep on going. And I'll go straight into the video. In case you haven't watched my medical school journey video, I suggest that you watch that so you get an insight about my medical school journey. Actually, I'll put the video in my description box, or it might pop up somewhere at the top here. And before I start the video, I'll just give a quick summary. So I applied for medicine in 2014, and that was my first time applying. Then again, I applied in 2017 after I finished my degree in biomedical science. Then again in 2018, where I actually got accepted. So I got rejected twice, and I definitely know how I felt. And when you get rejected, there's a lot of emotions. You do go through a phase where you have this self-doubt and you start thinking maybe it's not for you. You start thinking of obviously a different alternative to medicine or other route to get into medicine. So I definitely had all of this stuff going into my head, and I would highly say that, I know people always say this, but honestly, not to give up if you really want to do medicine. It does take a lot to keep on going, and it's still a lot of hard work as well. However, I do have some tips to give based on how I dealt with it. So you do go through a phase of self-doubt, and that's completely normal actually, because it's like something you really want, and then you do think maybe it's not for you, maybe it's just this dream that you've always wanted and it might not just happen. But I wouldn't say that, because I tried once, I tried twice, and my third time was my lucky time. So I definitely highly recommend not just trying once. If you have the chance to try again, definitely try again. So each time I applied for medical school and I got rejected, I had to reflect on what actually went well and what went wrong. And by this, I broke it down in different parts. So I looked at obviously my UCAS application, my personal statement, my UCAT score, my interview, how it went. I even got feedback from the universities on my MMIs and interviews, just to see what area I can improve on next time. And I would say this definitely helped me, because I definitely tried to improve on these aspects, and it did have a bit of a change, and I had a better understanding of what I needed to do and what I needed to stop doing. So that's definitely a thing that I would recommend. I'll also advise maybe talking to people, families and friends, or even people that actually maybe current medical students already, or people that you know that's interested in that field, and learn from each other really. For example, if you feel like you're not really good at talking during interviews, or you're shy, this could be things you can work on just to improve it next time. In some cases, some students realize that their UCAT score is not the best and they need to improve on it. So if you know that's you, there's the time to actually improve on it. And I'll say in terms of self-doubt, just know that there's always a time for everything, and I believe that God really knows what's the best time for you. People need to remember as well that there's different routes to medicine. If you don't get in the first time, it doesn't mean you're a failure. If you don't get in through straight from A-levels, doesn't mean you're a failure. There's other routes to medicine, there's other options, and it's important to know about the other routes and use it basically. In the case of going through obviously straight from A-levels, or taking a gap year, going abroad, or applying as a graduate, there's so many different routes that I feel like it's wise to actually use the different avenues that you've got to get into medicine. And I touched on before, it's definitely important to have faith in God. I don't know if you're religious, but having faith in God definitely helps me. It helped me be more motivated and helped me try again and again and again, and not so I don't actually give up. And it does take a lot of effort to wanting to apply again. And in the phase where you feel like you're getting rejected, I use that time personally to improve on myself. So the year where I got rejected, so in between my degree and getting into medicine, I had a year in between, and I actually made my year better, where I actually went on holiday, I saved money, I worked, so it gave me the opportunity to save a bit. I also used that opportunity to improve like my UCAT score, and I had more time to start my application. So I started everything earlier than usual because I didn't have a lot of commitments compared to when I was actually in university. So use that time wisely, really. I even used that time to spend more time with family and friends because I was home. So in the phase of rejection, you could actually do other things as well. So there's ways you can, try and make that moment or that phase still enjoyable, and hoping that, you still get your goals and you still get your, your desired path to actually study medicine. I know it does sound easier to say, because in that phase as well, when people tell me not to give up, it sounds kind of like, yeah, everyone says it, but it does help. I feel like if you do have that phase of self-doubt, it's normal. I mean, everyone goes through like that phase of self-doubt. It's kind of part of the process because you really, really want it. It doesn't mean that, you don't really believe in yourself, but it's just like a minor thought process that, you end up getting. But just use that moment to reflect and just keep on going, really. That's what I would suggest personally. And also as well, I found it important like to make plans. So kind of like making myself a plan on what to do next. That really helped me, rather than just stay stuck in that situation. I had different plans and different paths that I would want to take, alternatives. I feel like that's just important so you don't actually feel stranded and kind of lost. So it's important to make those plans. And yeah, that's about it. So I feel like those are, the tips that I had for how I personally dealt with failures and rejections. Now I wouldn't even call them like failures because I ended up going into medicine now, but I would say that it was definitely a learning curve for me. It was definitely a phase that I would never forget, and it does make me appreciate it more based on like the hard work that I actually put into it. So I feel like during that phase of trying to get into medicine, I definitely matured a lot. Had a different mindset when I was applying in 2014 from when I was applying in 2018. And that 4 years period definitely helped me. And I learned a lot, life experience, etc., etc. So I would definitely believe that there's a time for everything, and everything definitely happens for a reason. But if anyone does need tips, help, anything regarding medical application, if anyone wants to send me a message via Instagram or my email, I'll put them in the description box, or I'll put my Instagram here, and you can send me a message. And if people need help in terms of like personal statement or tips on UCAT, I have uploaded videos recently about them. You can check them out. But if you do have more questions, you can send me a message as well. More than happy to answer. And if you do like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.